Yesterday, I was watching a clip by Newt Gingrich, and he said there's three things that Trump has to be worried about. And he just straight went to it. And he said, number one, you can't keep Strait of Hormuz closed. It has to be opened, right? If you keep it closed, other people feel the pain, it's going to be a problem for you. They're all going to side against you. So you have to find a way to keep Strait of Hormuz open. Number two, he said, what are you going to do with the 200,000 IRGC members in the military that are loyalists to the IRGC that know there is no life after the fall? So if Iran falls, what do they do next? You know, you're not going to give them a job, so what are you going to kill all of them? And then number three is, how do you give power to the 85 million, 90 million Iranians that don't have weapons, they don't have Second Amendment, they don't have a way to protect themselves, so they're worried about coming out because what if they kill my son? What if they'll kill my daughter? That's a real fear. So how do you deal with that? What do you actually think is going to end up happening?
This is the problem. I think the 200,000 you mentioned, there's going to be a reckoning. I know President Trump has said, put down your arms, stop killing your people, and you'll be essentially given amnesty, but
what does that even mean?
it's not going to be that simple. The Iranian people who've seen their kids slaughtered and tortured and their girls raped by these animals aren't going to just be saying, okay, clean slate, we're all friends and let's just move on with a liberated Iran. There's going to be, I think there's going to be some unrest, to put it lightly, for some time to come. And I think we just have to have an appetite for that, because it's just going to happen. You can't have 47 years of oppression and all the killing and torture that's happened and not have some sort of a reckoning. So that's, ideally, well, not ideally, but in a simple world, you would just have those goons look at the numbers, see that things have changed, and lay down their arms, and the country can, then decide what they want to be. Does it want to be a monarchy? Does it want to be a republic? What sort of democracy it wants to have? But I think there's going to be a bit of pain before that.
But by the way, you obviously have a very big fan base. You know, when video went out that you're going to be on, everybody's like, oh my God, I love Rita. I love Rita. She's amazing.
I wish I was more high energy for you. You know what? I've been sick, so that's why I'm a little bit, so I need some caffeine. I'm going to perk up.
You want some coffee?
Yeah, let's get me some coffee.
Can you guys get her some coffee? Yeah, but for some of you that are watching it, that are fans, she's officially on Minnect. So if you want to Minnect her and ask her questions, you can. I think her QR code is going to be somewhere below here. But let me ask you, when it comes down to political parties in Iran, who are you? Are they reaching out to you? Are they saying, hey, support us here? If he falls, here's who we'd like. I'm sure you hear Reza Pahlavi's name's being dropped. And then you heard the Kurds saying, we won't support Reza Pahlavi. Then, you'll hear saying, well, what about the MEK? You'll hear all these guys. And then when you go to the State Department and you talk to people in the State Department, some Iranians that work directly with Marco Rubio, and you'll say, look, it has to be somebody from the inside. It can't be somebody from the outside. Somebody from the outside can play a role, but it can't be somebody from the outside. What do you like? Who's going to be the replacement if IRGC goes?
Look, I think there is a big movement to have Pahlavi back, to have Reza Pahlavi and have him as an interim measure until they have elections. But I actually don't have a firm dog in this race. People always accuse me of being on this side or that side. I just talk to everybody. So I've interviewed everyone pretty much that you've talked about, representatives from each camp. I'd be comfortable with the Crown Prince going back and having perhaps a 6 to 12 month period where it's determined how these elections are going to be held, what's the preferred model, and then go on from that. So I think even in Iran, from what you hear and just from talking to people, they seem to be open to that. That seems to be something that there is a real, I don't know, it could just be sentimentality. It's the last rule they knew that was not hideous. So, yeah, I'm very comfortable with that. And I know some people say, you can't go in there and install a prince. That's just another form of oppression, but it will be for a short period of time until the people have their say. And if they want more of that, they can have more of that. So Yeah, I'm comfortable with that model. I just want to get rid of this Islamist regime. I mean, Iran has gone through this, the Persian Empire, what was it, the 7th century? That's the first time Islam took hold, and 1979, 47 years, that's a long time. That's a long time to be oppressed. So I think the people are ready. I'm comfortable with that. What about you? Are you comfortable with 6 to 12 months?
Meaning what? Transitional of
Yeah.
what he does?
To have him in there as a figure until the details are determined, because you can't have an election, overnight.
Well, there's two things. What I think is irrelevant, because one is the Iranian people. They want him. That's one. Two, the U.S., if they're going to go in and do what they did to Venezuela, you have to be able to make sure you win him over, Trump over. So if you don't win him over, what is he going to be doing? He said the other day that he keeps repeating himself, that Reza Pahlavi is a nice guy, but, we need somebody from the inside. I don't want somebody from the outside. I don't know if you saw him say this or not. He said this 2 weeks ago.
The problem is, if you're on the inside and you're not part of the regime or controlled opposition, you're probably in jail. That's my problem with someone on the inside. I know someone on the inside is smoother initially, but I just want to be comfortable with anyone from this regime, even on the outskirts of it, being the next leader.
Yeah,
Thank you, darling.
I think he definitely has a role to play. I've been very critical of him many, many times, because he's had 47 years to do it. And this is the first time I've seen him play offense the way he finally is, which is good. And I think a big part of it is, one, Iranian people are rising up, and two, Trump being in power. If it wasn't Trump, he wouldn't be able to do what he's doing.
Oh, hell no. If it wasn't Trump in power, none of this would be happening. Let's be honest. None of this would be happening. I mean, this is a leader unlike any we have seen, and perhaps will see. I mean, what he has been able to achieve in almost all corners of the world, his foreign policy achievements, he does not get credit for that, which I know probably bothers him. But really, this is huge achievements. We're talking about the fall of the Berlin Wall levels of change here. This is monumental. So, and it would not be happening if it wasn't for President Trump. There's zero doubt about that. I mean, it's not a day I don't think about that incident in Butler and that turning of the head in the last millisecond, and how different not just America, but how different the world would be if that didn't happen, if that miracle, he didn't just turn his head that last millisecond. It blows my mind. It blows my mind is the wrong expression. Every day I think about what would the world look like with Kamala or some other
Joe Biden
imposter in the White House. Yeah. You wouldn't have Venezuela, you wouldn't have Iran, you wouldn't have all the peace deals that have happened, and you wouldn't have now Cuba. The Cubans are crying out to be next. And I think they will be.
I think that's going to be an easier one, though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's going to be a tough one, because back
they're
in the
already
days,
on their knees. They don't need to be bombed.
They used to have protection from Soviet Union, from USSR, but who protects Cuba today? I don't even know who protects it. Like, Cuba should be a knock on the door. It should be, hey guys, you're officially
enough.
the new Puerto Rico.
Out you go.
Out. Let's build some hotels. Let's get tourism going. Communism is out. But for some of you that are watching it, that are fans, she's officially on Connect. So if you want to connect her and ask her questions, you can. I think her QR code is going to be somewhere below here.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.